The headline read, "Is poetry dead in America?" Well, if you're asking me, I believe that poetry still pitter-patters regally across rigid blacktop. It dances across intersections dressed as Shel Silverstein. But as a mascot of Sasquatch, wearing an apricot-colored ascot, smoking a cig with his mask off, with the voice like gravel, trying to hold back a bad cough. See, long before the first poem ever made it to page, when most people couldn't even read, poets first played on the stage. We'd have rage and debate, waging war of words, and we stated our case, expounding philosophy, condemning atrocities, and sometimes the occasional attempt at prophecy. So answer me this then. How can poetry be dead when music has lyrics? When rhyme schemes and hip-hop are tied to the hip like Siamese twins, combining flow with some immaculate timing. Oh, that reminds me of Joe and puns. So what if I litter in a little light alliteration, like it's a riddle about a dead middleman in Little Italy that did it to diddly. Rappers might do it a bit differently, but you cannot tell me that is not poetry. How can poetry be dead when a
There was a lot of alliteration and I wanted to understand. Do it again.
So that reminds me of Joe and puns. So what if I litter in a little light alliteration, like it's a riddle about a dead middleman in Little Italy that did it to diddly. Rappers might do it a bit differently, but you cannot tell me that that is not poetry. Oh. How can poetry be dead when a poem can be anything? When a poem can be the last words you ever say to your loved one. When a poem can be the first words you say to your lover in the morning. See, if poetry is dead, I must be the ghost of Poe. Prone to prose of broken home, of glass houses with stones to throw, of overgrown back alleys, no stranger to an overdose. A dice in the hands of a gambling man as he holds them close before he goes for broke. See, poetry can be found anywhere. It can be found up, pull down stairs. When you're looking for that light in the attic, you find that old package, double bubble wrapped in plastic, that takes you on a path from way back in the day out there where the sidewalk ends. For a moment, you sit and imagine. Over the next horizon, you find wizards flying, fighting with magic, lights bright as they're flashing, flinging spells furiously. Voracious in their vim and vigor, hell-bent to battle this vindictively vicious, vile vermin, vehement for vengeance, and an overly verbose, vivaciously visceral vendetta. So even though the headline proposed the death of prose, I know that poetry isn't dead, because if it was,